It was a deceptively simple discovery, but really quite powerful, that you could reprogram a cell. You could change what a cell did and make a cell produce insulin or growth hormone or any other number of naturally occurring proteins and make it produce a human drug.
As the transition in medicine from more traditional approaches to the more modern molecular medicine approach was happening in the late 70s, early 80s, South San Francisco was transitioning from its more traditional industrial base.
We've gone from, quote, the industrial city to the biotech capital of the world. And thank goodness for staff and the elected officials before. We knew when we were going to make that transition, we needed to do everything to get us there. So they took a look at that land, they looked at the industry that was coming up.
And it was perfect because it was halfway between University of California, San Francisco and Stanford, which is where the technologies were invented that made all of biotech possible. So it was fairly natural for Bob Swanson, who founded Genentech and in the process founded Biotechnology, to look at this as a locale.
It was Bob Swanson who recognized that this thing called biotech and gene cloning, and actually at that time biotech hadn't even been coined, it was mainly gene cloning, had potential in applications as an industry. And he had evidently gone and talked to a number of scientists about that. When he got to talking with Herb Boyer at UCSF, he found a spark and an interest in him that, yes, he was very interested in following through. And so it was really the two of them together that put Herb's information, background, science with Bob's business experience, and that's what founded Genentech. It was a very exciting time to come. Got to see the approval of the first product with growth hormone. They shut down the San Francisco airport while they had fireworks at Genentech, something that I can't imagine happening now. It was really a very, very exciting time in the company and in the industry, and I think for this area.
Well, I'm very optimistic about the future of biotech. I've been in the industry from just about the beginning for more than 20 years, and I've seen an industry go from being a casual afterthought to becoming a centerpiece of what we do well here in the United States and particularly in California in terms of taking new ideas, financing them, and turning them into real products that can benefit people and also be commercially valuable to companies working on them.
I think biotech is a huge future. If you look at the number of drugs that are being introduced onto the market that are coming out of the biotech industry, there are wonderful new therapies coming out of the biotech industry that already are making the lives of lots of patients better. In the past few years, I think the industry really has gained focus, gained experience, gained maturity, and in the next few years, I'm sure we'll see a whole new generation of drugs come out of the biotech industry.
Imagine the potential of 80, 90 companies, each of whom have multiple drugs, and contrast that to maybe one big pharma, and it says that's a pretty good investment in terms of biotechnology companies where you have all those chances to have successful, commercially important, but equally important, medically important drugs in the near future.
At the end of the day, whether you're a scientist or a business type, most of us are doing this because we think what we're doing will end up with new, better, different medicines to treat diseases that aren't treated very well right now. We, as many of our neighbors here, are beginning to see things work in clinical trials, and you really live for that.
I think we're just at the beginning of an entirely new revolution, not only in healthcare, but also in a lot of other ways that we lead our lives. I think it's going to have as big an impact on how you lead your daily life in 10 years as the high-tech revolution has between 10 or 15 years ago and now.
We've kept pace with the industry because we've watched them come. We've made every concerted effort to make their stay as comfortable as possible because we knew we would benefit. So I think we've transitioned. We've taken a look at all the elements that go to making South San Francisco the birthplace and biotech capital of the world.